Morning, traders. What's going on? How's it going? Good morning and happy Money Monday, baby. I hope everybody had a wonderful Easter Sunday and an awesome holiday weekend, and that you guys don't have a hangover. Not a hangover, a food over. Yeah, I said hangover, a food over. Like I have right now. I tell you what, guys, I ate way too much, and yeah, my webcam is not working right now. So unfortunately, you guys don't get to see my pretty face. I can't figure it out. This webcam's so hit or miss. But anyway, guys, that doesn't matter, because what matters, we're here, we're prepared, we're hungry, we're motivated to make it happen today in the markets. So I'm excited to be here, guys. It was a long weekend, way too long. Again, not being here Friday, guys, it felt like forever. So I am fired up. I'm excited to be here, and I am excited to get to work with each and every one of you guys today to make this week the best week of April so far. Team, we have officially 10 trading days until the end of the month. So we got 2 more weeks, 10 more days. We are officially halfway through the month of April. And I tell you what, it's been an amazing month of April. No complaints whatsoever. Everybody inside of chat is absolutely on fire, crushing it. If you guys are not on fire and you guys are having, a little bit of a setback, this is what your mindset should be today. Listen, last week's last week. It's in the past. There's nothing we can do. Today's a brand new day, full of brand new opportunities. We get to create the outcome of today. No one else knows what's going to happen. No one can predict what's going to happen next. So why focus on what's happened in the past? Because that's going to transition into what happens possibly today. Don't take that negative, bad energy, if you have any, right, from last week into this week. This is a brand new week full of brand new opportunities. Wipe the slate clean. This is a fresh start regardless of what happened last week. So if you're in chat, if you're on YouTube and you're like, man, I had a bad week last week. Man, I got to make it back. Get that mindset gone. Get away from your computer. Walk away, disconnect. That mindset stays outside before you walk in your office, before you sit down. Your mindset today is positivity, motivation. You guys are hungry. You guys are here to learn. You guys are here to make it happen, to lock in some consistent profits in the market. Today, again, brand new day, brand new opportunities. So we are going to make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. So again, good morning. I love you all. I'm excited to be here. We got a lot to talk about, and we have about 25 minutes to go. Right, so let's go ahead and dive into it and talk about what we have going on today to get you guys prepared to identify these top stocks and to, again, have some fun, team, and lock in those profits. Sound good? It sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and quit wasting time and dive into it. Number one, ladies and gentlemen, what do we got today? We got CASA. Yes, CASA, ladies and gentlemen. This stock is on fire, going from around 389 all the way to 586 resistance. So what's going on with CASA? Well, they were awarded a multi-year contract from Verizon. So that's a pretty good press release, right? Pretty good press release on CASA. I really like it. It's leading the board with relative volume. It has some of the best volume traded here in pre-market, right? 9 million shares. It's up 50%. On average, the stock trades less than 200,000. So, I mean, it's leading the board with relative volume. It's a nice low float stock, and it's one of the best press releases we have this morning for penny stocks. So right now, CASA looks good, right? Look at that pre-market chart. It didn't just pop on up and dump on back down, right? OCGN, big old pump, dropping on off. MDVL wasn't looking all that bad, starting to fade and fall, right? This stock looks really clean. I like CASA right now. The only thing, though, is we're right at a very strong level of resistance. So you guys see that 200-day moving average at 583. That's a very strong level of resistance. Not to mention that 580 level is also resistance on the daily chart. So what I see on CASA is a lot of resistance at 580 up to 608. There's about a 30-cent window of pretty strong resistance. It starts at our 200-day moving average, goes up to the spiking high in the 590, $6 psychological resistance, and then you have this prior level of support right around 608. So I see a big window of resistance between 580 and let's call it 610, right? About 30 cents of resistance, and it's going to be tough, in my opinion, to get through this level. But if we can start breaking the 200-day, breaking $6, right, we could absolutely start to see this at $6.54, $6.85, and maybe even $7 today. But right now, again, team, there's a lot of resistance between $5.80 and $6.10. So the last thing that I would want to be doing is chasing this stock at a level of resistance, especially on a Monday after a holiday weekend when we really don't know how active or how hot the market's going to be. I don't want to be the guinea pig. I'd rather sit back, wait to see how these stocks move out of the gate, and then get prepared versus chasing a stock, getting in, and then seeing it dump on off and wish that I sat back and waited versus being the guinea pig and just trying. It's weird sometimes, right? The day before a holiday weekend, the Monday coming back from a holiday weekend, it's so hit or miss. Sometimes they're hot days because traders are eager to get back to to trading. Sometimes it's slow and it's just choppy because traders are more or less sitting back to see, what these market conditions are like. So take that into consideration on everything today. That's my mindset is, again, I'm going to kind of sit back and wait to see what happens and assess these market conditions. And at the same time, I'm definitely not looking to chase stocks at strong levels of resistance. And again, between 580 and 610, there's a lot of resistance on CASA. So be mindful of that. Where is support at this point in time? Well, you could find support right off this prior level of resistance, right around 553. If you crack below 553, back down to this retracement low of 517, and then the best level of support is going to be $5. Okay, so again, 553, light support off prior resistance. Below that, 517, and then below 517, you can see it all the way back down at $5. And then again, right now between 580 and 610, good amount of resistance. But at this point in time, CASA appears to be the cleanest stock, the best looking stock here in pre-market. So this is the stock that I want to keep on high watch right out of the gates. All right, team. We have NILE this morning. So NILE reporting 2021 year-end results. NILE currently up 18%, trading 16 million shares. On average, the stock trades 22 million shares. So this stock's been moving since 4 a.m. and we've only traded, again, 16 million shares. But on average, the stock normally trades 22. So at this point in time, it doesn't excite me with that high relative volume like CASA does. But that's not to say NILE can't be a top gaining stock today. That's not to say that NILE can't trade 100 million shares and trade 5x volume. But right now, it's just something to be mindful of. It's up 19%, 74 million in float. And right now, the only thing that we really have on the stock is this slide uptrend, right? So we have this slide uptrend in pre-market. Let's see if we can hold above the trend line. If we can, boom, we can see it back up to high a day at 73 cents, and then we would have some room up towards around 75 cents. And I would say 75 to 79 cents today. If this is a stock that moves, those would be your top targets between 75 and 79 cents. Support right now at this point in time, I would put you back down around 63 cents here on NILE. That would be a decent little level of support here. On NILE would be back down towards around 63.5, right? So between 63 and 64 cents if we crack this uptrend. But if we stay above the trend line, that looks pretty strong. We could see a nice bounce off of it, back up towards around high a day, and then next, 75 cents. So again, we'll be watching NILE, but I don't know if it's a top stock right now that I really want to keep on watch because we have other stocks to talk about, and maybe we identify another stock that has a much better opportunity, all right? But NILE, definitely on watch for today. XELA, what's going on with XELA? So XELA announcing a share buyback of up to 100 million shares of common stock at $125 per share. So I had a question this morning. Is that a good press release? I would say it's pretty decent. It's good. Why is that? They're buying back 100 million shares, up to 100 million shares. So what's that doing? It's reducing the amount of shares that are outstanding. Maybe it reduces the float. How many shares are available to trade? Think about supply and demand. When you have a lot of supply and you have demand, right? It's, price doesn't really move aggressively. But when you have low supply and when you have high demand, that's when prices shoot up substantially. So just think about it from a supply and demand standpoint, right? They're reducing the supply The only thing that's left is increasing the demand for something like XELA to really see that take an effect. But again, if you reduce the supply and you really don't have the demand in the first place, it's not going to really cause that much of a hype or anything like that, or any kind of movement. So with that being said, yes, it's a good press release. They are reducing the amount of shares out there, which is in sense reducing the supply. So if we have a lot of traders really hungry for XELA and there's a lot of demand, then absolutely, you can see it move on up a little bit, and it is moving up a little bit off that press release. All right, so from 35 cents, currently trading at 42 cents on XELA. The only thing I don't like about XELA is the float, right? It's 341 million in float. This stock does move, right? It's gone from 66 cents to 80 cents before in a day. It's gone from 64 to 75 in a day. We've seen this stock move. But from my experience with XELA, it's like an all-day move. It's one of those stocks that, yeah, it may go from 60 to 80 cents, but it takes place over hours, right? Hours. I'm not a fan of trading stocks that take hours to play on out. I want to find that stock that could rip and run quick within minutes. So that's the one thing that I'm not crazy about when it comes to XELA, but maybe some of you in chat are like, I like those slow, steady movers. I like those stocks that take all day to move 10, 20, 30% because it allows me to be more controlled, more disciplined, more patient to really manage the trade. That may be your style. So XELA could be the stock that you want to put more focus on today. All right. Right now at this point in time, we do have room up towards around 47 cents at this point in time, right around 47 cents, with support being between 40 and 42 cents. So between 40 and 42 cents is a decent little level of support. But right now, XELA, we could see it up towards around 47 cents. If we ever break over 47 cents, you would have 50 cents, which is psychological resistance right at 50. And if we break 50 cents on XELA, you could see it up towards around that 50-day moving average at 58 cents. But again, right now at this point in time, it's up 20%, not bad. It's not trading high relative volume. We're only trading 16 million shares. On average, we trade 48 million. Just like NILE, right? It could be a top stock of the day. It could be the stock that everybody lands on, and it could be the top gaining stock that trades 100 million shares. But right now, it's trading substantially less than the average. And to top it off, it's a large float stock. And get in the minds of other traders. Other day traders, what do they want? High volume stocks, high relative volume, right? Great press releases, fantastic press releases, low floats. Those are the stocks that they pick and choose. Those are the stocks that traders want to get involved with because they can move 50 cents, $1, $2 at a time. So just be mindful. XELA has the large float and it's lacking the volume, but it could be that slow, steady mover that you guys like to trade. Again, 39 cent support, right around 40 cents at this point in time. Room to 47, room to 50, and then possibly up to that 50-day moving average, right around 58 cents here on XELA. Okay, so we talked about XELA, we talked about NILE, all right? MDVL, this press release was on the 8th of April. So they report inducement grants as permitted by the NASDAQ listing rule. That press release got the stock ripping and running there on Thursday from around 140 up to 265. So this is a prior day mover on MDVL. This was one of Thursday's top gainers. We want to keep this one on watch around 250. Okay, so if we can stay above 250 and we set up and there's a reason to get involved, we could see it back up towards around 307 and 330 here on MDVL. Again, Thursday's top gaining stock. All right, and then last but not least, fresh stocks with fresh news that we are watching today would be OCGN. All right, so OCGN they're going to commercialize Covanax in Mexico. All right, so we saw a quick little pop out of OCGN, but there is literally no volume on the stock at this point in time. Right, there's not a lot of volume. Trading 1 million shares on average, the stock trades 12 million shares, and it's a large float as well, just like XELA, just like NILE. So there are some good stocks to keep on watch today, guys. Right, but are these stocks the top gaining stocks? Are these stocks the best of the best that we should be watching right out of the gate at 9:30? I don't believe so, right? XELA, we should keep it on watch, but I don't think it's a top stock to watch right at 9:30. I don't think OCGN is a top stock to watch at 9:30. Maybe NILE, it doesn't look all that bad. So I would say NILE, yeah, that's a decent little stock to watch out of the gate. MDVL, not really, right? It may not do anything today, but it's a stock worth watching as it's a prior day mover. So right now, I would definitely say it's all CASA at this point in time, right? 80% of my focus is going to be here on CASA. And then I'm going to be watching NILE as well, right off this trend line to see if we get a nice little rebound back up to high a day. Where is a lot of my focus at this point in time? And this is where my focus was a lot last week as well. We talked about this almost every single day last week. If oil breaks out of this descending triangle formation, right, and we start ripping and running, we have room back up to what? 110 first, and then 115. What took place last week? We broke that descending triangle. We are now moving to the upside from around 95 to 107 on oil. And what did I say? Not only can you trade, right, futures, not only can you trade USO, right, the oil ETF, right, there's opportunity trading oil. But what stocks do you guys need to be focused on? Those stocks could start ripping and running as well. That was INDO, right? INDO, small cap oil stock. What happened on Thursday? This thing absolutely exploded from 15 to 27. INPP exploded from 120 to 157. ENSV went from 230 to 280, right? CEI from 80 cents all the way up to 92 cents. So there were a lot of these small cap oil stocks ripping on Thursday because oil was having a pretty strong week, right? So we definitely want to keep these small cap oil stocks on high watch. High watch, all right? INDO, high watch above 22.33. We have potential back up to 27. ENSV, we're starting to break over Thursday's high, right? Breaking and holding above Thursday's high. We could see it up towards around 318 and then 366. HUSA, right? If we can start breaking over Thursday's high in $5, this thing has room to $6.85. CEI, breaking and holding over $1 and breaking and holding over 105. We could see this thing up towards around 122. So I definitely think it's very important today, team. If nothing else is moving, right? If XELA is not doing a lot, OCGN not doing a lot, MDVL not doing a lot, NILE or CASA not doing a lot, what stocks have the next best potential today in the market? Small cap oil stocks. Again, INDO, definitely a stock I'm keeping on high watch. ENSV, HUSA, CEI. All right, guys. And again, if we're looking to trade these small cap oil stocks, we need to be focused on what oil's doing, right? If oil's dumping on off, all right, well, maybe we don't want to go long on one of these small cap oil stocks. But if oil starts taking on off like it did end of day Thursday, we have time to catch some of these small cap oil stocks before they rip and run. What do I mean we have time? Oil started making its move at noon. Right around 12 o'clock, it started really ripping on up here, right? From around 12 to about 2 o'clock. What time did the small cap oil stocks really start ripping on up? Right at 2 o'clock, right? So oil was moving between 12 and 2. Oil topped out around 2. What time did INDO start ripping? Right at 2 o'clock. So there's about a 2-hour delay between these small cap oil stocks really following oil's big rip and run there on Thursday. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's something to be mindful of, right? That oil started moving to the upside between 12 and 2. It actually found a high a day and then pulled back. And then, boom, what takes place right at 2 o'clock? INDO rips to 27. ENSV rips. HUSA rips, right? CEI starts taking on off as well. So if we start to see some great action with oil and it looks strong like it did Thursday into the day, you guys definitely want to be watching INDO, ENSV, HUSA, and CEI. The top ones that I like the most, I like HUSA the most. I see more room to the upside. And I like INDO the most because I also see a lot of room to the upside here. Don't get me wrong, I like ENSV. Don't get me wrong, I like CEI. But when I look at these 4 small cap oil stocks, the 2 that stand out to me the most would be HUSA and INDO. So there's going to be the top 2 small cap oil stocks that I'll be watching if oil starts to have a good day. So this is how I'm going to break down my watch list. Number 1, CASA. This is my top stock I'm watching out of the gate. Number 2, NILE. Boom, right off that trend line, baby. NILE, definitely going to be keeping the stock on high watch today. And then I would say let's keep it that easy, right? CASA, top stock. NILE, top stock. We should be watching MDVL, but again, it's not a top stock out of the gate. OCGN, same thing. XELA, same thing. And then our top back burner stocks at this point in time would be INDO, ENSV, HUSA, and CEI. All right, guys? So it's a very simple day. There was a lot of stocks moving, a lot of stocks with news, but it was pretty easy to dissect these stocks to really identify where the best of the best of the best opportunity is at this point in time. All right, NTUS looks like acquisition. They're going to be acquired. Yeah, so NTUS, not worth your time. That is acquisition news. All right, pretty simple day, guys. You got about 3 stocks to really put on watch. 3 stocks to really focus on. Okay, CASA, NILE, and then we're going to be watching some of those other stocks we talked about. OCGN, XELA. The only thing with those stocks, large floats, not a lot of volume. So that's why we're going to put our focus, 80% of it, CASA and NILE. Right? So we have plenty of time. We still got 7 minutes until that bell, guys. All right? So if there's any stocks that you guys are watching today, there's any stocks that you want me to take a look at, we definitely have some time to do that this morning. All right. So again, we talked about CEI, we talked about those small cap oil stocks. I mean, we're all set there, ready to rock. Twitter was a pretty wild mover there on Thursday. I mean, it had a couple decent setups, it failed, it was kind of just all over the place. But yeah, we'll definitely keep Twitter on watch, you know, see if it sets up or anything like that. I mean, it had a pretty strong red day there on Thursday. So if we're watching Twitter, all right, let's just go ahead and mark up some of our levels real quick on Twitter and see, you know, where we could possibly be heading to next. But again, big move there on Thursday in pre-market, and then literally gave everything plus some back. So right now, we do have some good resistance right around 48, right? We can see a lot of resistance at 48. That was our bounce level pre-market, right around 48. That's where I try to catch my bounce on Twitter Thursday, and that's what stopped me out on Twitter. Right off that 48 level, and then you see it was resistance, and then it faded and fell. So right now, if you're looking at Twitter to the long side, you need to be breaking and staying above 48 before you even think about going long Twitter, and then you just play it every dollar. You could have resistance around 49, and then most definitely some resistance right around 50, and then up towards around that 200-day moving average of 51.30. If we start popping up towards around this $48 level, and we hit it as resistance like we did on Thursday, and we see that rejection and it screams short me, we can definitely look for some puts or look to short Twitter back down towards around 45. SFET, SFET. Let's go check out some SFET. So SFET. Safety Group trading higher after the company issued Q1 sales guidance above analyst estimates. All right, so SFET right now currently gapping up 15%, but check out the volume, right? Only 160,000 shares traded. It doesn't really trade a lot of volume on average. It only trades 800,000 shares, right, on average. We're trading substantially lower, and it barely even trades volume in the first place, less than 1 million a day. So that right there screams, hey, wait for volume. It's barely trading any volume at this point in time. So this would be a back burner stock, and what you'd be looking for is volume to start moving on in and to see if it sets up to see if there's any good opportunity to get involved. But be very, very mindful. SFET, yes, it has news. There is a catalyst, but what's another criteria thing that we're looking for? Volume, right? We want to go where traders are going. We don't want to trade stocks that have little to no volume, because that's not going to be where the best opportunity is. We want to find the stocks that have the traders, that have the volume, that have the attention. Those are the stocks that are going to move the cleanest and the most consistent for us to make those good profits. All right, guys? So if you guys want, definitely watch SFET, but again, be mindful that it's not really trading a lot of volume. So yes, back burner at this point in time. The SPY, right? The SPY, key level, 437.70, okay? 437.70. Why is that a key level? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that was support for 3 days in a row. We're gapping down this morning slightly, but we are below that level of prior support. So old support turns into new resistance. So I would say right now a key level to keep on watch is 437.70. If we cannot break and stay above, let's just call it 438. Let's keep it easy. 438. I would only look to short this, right? I would only look to get puts. Where to? Pre-market lows and then the daily gap fill down between 426 and 429, possibly working its way back down to fill this little teeny gap here on the SPY, okay? But if we do break and hold above 438, I wouldn't be thinking shorting it. I'd be thinking let's go long, because that shows strength. If we can break and hold that 438 and regain it, oh, absolutely. We could see the SPY have a nice little day. We could see it back up to 439.54, and then we could see it back up towards around 440.58. But at this point in time, I'd be leaning more towards the short side. We're gapping down. Like to see if this level holds this down as resistance. If we get a clean, proper setup right around this 438 level to take a short, you have some great opportunity to the downside. Again, your first target right around 435 here on the SPY, okay? So we're definitely gonna be watching the SPY. And we do have a lot of earnings this week, guys. So again, today's gonna be, this week in general is gonna be a wild week in the market, right? So we do have some very anticipated earnings. Tomorrow after close, we have Netflix, we have IBM, we have Interactive Brokers, okay? Wednesday after close, we have United Airlines, right? We have Tesla. Thursday, we have American Airlines, we have AT&T. After the close Thursday, we have Snapchat. Friday, we have American Express, we have Verizon, but the biggest takeaways, right? The key ones that traders are really looking at this week, right? It's gonna be Netflix and Tesla and Snapchat. I would say those are gonna be the three most anticipated earnings right now at this point in time. Netflix, most definitely Tesla, and then Snapchat. And here's the thing, Tesla, right? If Tesla moves aggressively, that alone can move the market, the SPY and the Qs. If Tesla starts ripping, watch for the market to rip. If Tesla, anything negative out of that press release, any bad earnings, and it dumps, you'll probably see the market follow, right? Tesla is definitely a big boy to watch this week, guys, all right? So definitely keep Tesla on watch. That's gonna be Wednesday after the close. So again, we do got some good earnings this week, so we're gonna have some fun. We got some earnings. We're gonna make it happen, and we are going to lock in those clean, consistent profits, team. Scanners are now live. Like I said, the start of the day, team, I'm gonna be sitting back on my hands, looking to see what takes place the first 5-10 minutes. Make sure I'm not chasing anything. Make sure I'm not FOMOing into anything, buying breakouts, getting in prematurely. I'm gonna sit back, wait for the best of the best setups, the best of the best entries. And we're gonna make it happen today, guys. Keep it simple, right? Be patient, wait for your trades to come to you, and let's make it happen, guys. Number one stock I'm watching out of the gate, CASA at this point in time. We are all set, ready to rock and roll. Let's have an awesome day. Let's have some fun, team, and let's make some money. So CASA had resistance between 580 and 610 on the daily chart. We are actually opening right around that top level of resistance, right around 608 to 610. If this thing is a panic pop, right, it opens up and it's a panic pop and it starts dumping on back down, right? It is easy to short, but again, that's something to be mindful of. It's easy to borrow on mainstream brokers. What happens, right? What happens when there is a penny stock, $5, $6, that's easy to short, and traders never short stocks. They're like, oh my gosh, this stock's gapping up 60% at resistance. I want to short it. What do? They start shorting the stock. What happens? They never really shorted before. They don't know how to short. right? They start getting scared, they panic, they get out, they cover, leads to a squeeze. We saw that last week. Can't remember the ticker name, but it was an easy to short stock, and we saw that last week, that there were a lot of good short setups, probably bringing in shorts, and they were getting squeezed out left and right. Okay, so be mindful of that, right? It is easy to borrow, and that brings in a lot of unexperienced traders into shorting, because it's not every day someone that has a smaller, you know, margin account with TD that they're able to short stocks, right? Today's the day they're like, my goodness, I can short CASA, I want to short it. And that could lead to a lot of action to the upside, especially they start getting squeezed out. So right now at this point in time, again, team, CASA is my #1 stock to watch. So as you guys see, I want to talk about one thing real quick. You see that you had a new room just pop up. It says free chat, right? It says free chat. We do have a new program that's being released next week. It's our intro membership. So that's going to give you the limited access to the live stream. That's going to give you access to type in free chat for that 45-minute duration. So basically the same thing that we do. Same thing we do on YouTube. We're just going to start doing this in chat, and that gives you access to a lot more. That gives you access to kind of see what chat's all about. You can engage with us inside a chat, in free chat from 9 to 9:45. Get the stream from 9 to 9:45. One day during the week, I will open up chat all freaking day, and you guys will be able to chat all day for free, okay? And there's a lot of other things that come with that as well. Free lessons, free courses, so much stuff in that intro membership that you guys will definitely want to take advantage of. So I'll have more information about that next week. But again, for members inside of chat, if you're like, what the heck is this free chat thing that popped up? You'll notice this popping up at 9 a.m. and then going away at 9:45. And this is a way for you to engage with newer members inside of chat before they join to unlock everything. This gives you a way to engage and to communicate with them, and it gives them a way to engage and communicate with us as well. So that's what free chat is, if you guys are wondering what the heck is it. All right, so right now we're all set. We're just kind of sitting back looking at CASA. Again, I do not have any, I do not have a position on the table right now. I took a loss on MDVL this morning off the trend line. It was a good trade. I took it. I liked it. I wanted it, right? Right now I'm sitting back being patient. Where's CASA going? Is it going to halt to the upside and keep squeezing, right? If we have that kind of action to the upside, I'll play into it, right? Or we start dumping on off and continue to put in all these higher shadows, these upper shadows. I want to short it. So right now, there's a lot of upper shadows on CASA, right? And that to me screams short. Do not be long, short. I mean, there's a lot of upper shadows here, guys. Be careful. Again, NILE is off the trend line, guys. NILE is holding this trend line, took a little bit of heat out of the open. But again, you came down to the trend line. You're giving a decent little red to green move here, right? We opened red to the trend line. We're starting to break the open. So right now, NILE starting to give us a little bit of this red to green move, right? Support right now, right off the open, right around 67 cents is your best level of support right now at this point in time here on NILE. That free chat for 45 minutes is a good idea. I thought so. I thought so. That's why I dropped. It doesn't matter. I got to quit putting so much capital into the platform. Literally, that's all I do. It's like, oh, new idea. Let's implement it. And it's like, gosh, my developer's like, dude, stop. You're paying me too much. You're spending too much. You have a good platform. I'm like, no, we got to keep adding to it. We got to keep making it better. But yeah, I like the idea. I think it's pretty cool, and it gives a way for these intro memberships and these newer traders to come in and see what chat's about. They could actually read our messages. Now, they can't listen to the audio channel. They can't type in these rooms. The only room that they can type in is free chat, but they could read these for that 45 minutes, right? They can go through and read all of these alerts, profits, options, right? They could read to get prepared. But yeah, they can definitely engage with us in free chat, so I think it's pretty cool. Langston, I was joking. I was joking, dude. I love doing it. I love doing it. I love it, love it, love it. I was talking to Cole a week ago, and I'm like, dude, I was just like, I looked at, I was doing my taxes, and I'm like, my goodness, we put a lot into development last year, like a lot, more than I thought. But I'm like, I enjoy doing it because I want to give my team the best of the best place to trade, the best of the best platform, the best of the best community. And I'm like, I enjoy dumping all of that back into the chat room, back into the community. I love doing it. He goes, dude, it's come a long way. He was here a year ago and he's seen where it's come. And it's like, I just love doing it. I definitely think we have a way better platform than Discord, for sure. For sure. At day one, not really. Now, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It only took a year to get there, but hey, we're there, baby. Is it possible to move the scanners below the chats? So, Ron, dude, why you taking things out of my head? Get out of my head, dude. So our next update is going to be an interactive interface. So you'll be able to reorganize chat the way you want. You're like, what do you mean? You'll be able to click a button that says edit layout, and you can basically drag and drop these boxes anywhere on your website screen. So if you want to remove polls, you can remove polls. If you want to bring polls down below the live stream, you'll be able to click that, drag it below the live stream, save your layout, and you'll be able to customize the platform the way you want. It's going to be interactive, and you guys will be able to customize it how you want. But again, that's a big update. That's a big update. So that's going to take some time, but it is coming. All right, it is coming. And I don't want to set any deadlines because, again, I was giving everybody deadlines for the app, and the app just kind of fell apart, and we're having to rebuild. So, again, I don't want to give any set-in-stone deadlines because I did that with the app, and like I said, it's just that didn't really honor the deadline, did it? So right now, I'm like really tempted to scalp CASA. Like, I'm really tempted to scalp CASA. It's grinding that 90 in May. It's holding above that 608 level. We have a lot of these upper shadows, but again, scalping it before it starts dumping on back down, it's tempting, but it's risky. I just want you guys to know it's tempting, but it's extremely risky. It only takes one nasty red candle to bring this back down to 580 within seconds, right? But again, right now, the way it looks, it's kind of tempting to try and grab a scalp for that quick little pop on up. But like I said, I want to be disciplined. I want to be disciplined here and really wait that 10 to 15 minutes to really get an idea. The last thing I want to do is jump in and just see it just crack, dump, and pull back aggressively and take an unnecessary loss. So you know what? It's tempting, but I'm talking myself out of it. Do I think it could spike back up into the 630s? I do. But at the same time, I did say I'm going to sit back on my hands out of the gate and really just get a feel for these market conditions. All right, so right now I'm not in anything. Right now I am not in anything. But we are all set, baby. We're just waiting for the best opportunity. Right now, CASA, we're kind of sitting back here waiting. NILE, this is a nice decreasing volume pullback into the 67-cent level right off this open. I mean, again, it was a nice red to green move. Now, if this stock can pull back to the 67-cent level and bounce off the open, we could get that follow through back up to 70 cents, and then we do have a target of 75 cents on NILE. So let's watch this for a red to green move breakout. Nice, healthy, decreasing volume pullback into the open, right around 67 cents. And if we see that 67-cent level bounce, that could be a good area to get in for a nice little rebound. We want to make sure that it's not going to close below this level. All right, so we want to make sure that we do not close below that 67-cent level, right? If we actually see it bouncing here and we have good price action, that could be an indication that we're going to get that quick reversal back up to 70 cents, possibly even higher to our next targets. of 75 cents. And if we do take this trade, we would have to put stops. You know what? What are we trying to make here? 3 cents. We can't risk any more than a penny and a half. So that would give our stop loss right below 66 cents. So again, we'd be risking about a penny and a half to initially make 3 cents and possibly 7 cents to the upside. So right now we are bouncing here on NILE. We're starting to get that nice little bounce here on NILE at this point in time. Stops are really nice and tight as well. All right, you're risking literally nothing. Right, you're risking like 2 cents, 2 pennies. But here's the one thing I'm not crazy about on this candle. Right, I'm not in, so you guys know I am not in. But one thing I'm not crazy about on this candle is there's like no volume coming in right now. There's like no volume. Levels for MDVL right now supports at 307, right? We had a lot of 307 resistance. 307 was the 200-day moving average on MDVL. So the fact that we just broke above 307, that is now your level of support here on MDVL, right? If you do slide below 307 just a little bit, that's okay, because you could see it come back down to 3. So I'd say between 3 and 307 support, you have the VWAP, you have the 9 EMA, you have the trend line, $3 natural support, and it's your 200-day moving average on MDVL. So I would say MDVL looks good above that 3 to 307 level, and it has room back up towards around 330. NILE, nice little bounce there. CASA is right off that trend line, worth watching right around this 580 level. And then MDVL right off that 9 EMA, nice little pullback there. I'm gonna try and get a little scalp going on with MDVL, try and get this up to high a day here. If I can get my fat fingers to stop being so fat, maybe I can actually sell and take some profit here. Looking to take some profit off the table up towards around that 330, but again, my fat fingers struggling, not able to go half on it. There's 327. I'm gonna have to get some profits off the table here. There's 328. Let's lock in half there on MDVL. Let's see if we get a nice little break over that 333 for a new little high a day on MDVL. Nice pullback to that 3,307 level. I'm really late on the trade, but I like the price action. I like the volume. I took it for a quick scalp. I already locked in half my position. And right now I have half to see if we do get that break over that 333 level. But fingers on the trigger just in case. And I'm out right now. I'm walking away. So I made a small profit, not as much as I could have made, but it was enough to get me a little bit out of the hole. That was about a $200 trade on MDVL. Again, it was a nice break, nice pullback, beautiful retest. You had like 3 separate levels of support, and as a quick little scalp. Again, I got in really late. If I would have got in right there at that 310, that would have been a much better trade, but it was still profitable for a nice little scalp up to that pre-market level of resistance right around that 330 mark. If we ever break 330, guys, it has room to 4, right? It has room to $4 on MDVL if we can break and hold that 334 pre-market high. So MDVL looks great. NILE, that was a beautiful red to green move break, beautiful pullback, nice little rebound. If you guys grab some NILE, good job, good work. You guys are profitable right now. So good job. If you guys got any quick profits, congrats, right? Top stocks right now, NILE, definitely MDVL. How's CASA looking? CASA, I mean, your stops are nice and tight. Your stops are going to be under 575 if you're looking to buy this off pre-market resistance as new support and off this trend line. So I mean, you do have an uptrend support, you do have prior resistance, new support, but what I would wait is the candle to actually break back above the VWAP, right? So what I would do is I would wait to see if we can actually start breaking above VWAP. Stops would be at like 575 here, guys. Stops would be right under support, right under the trend line. We need to definitely see some volume pushing this back above the VWAP first, and you can see it back up to that 608 level on CASA. But again, that VWAP is a concerning area, right? Because if we can't break back above this VWAP here, it's probably going to dump on off. So I would wait for that candle to actually try to break above this VWAP and actually see some good volume here. And you could definitely see it back up to 608 and then back up towards the 630, the 640 mark. And again, we have a lot of these oil stocks starting to move here a bit, guys, because oil just hit a new high at 108.07. So now we should definitely be watching some of these oil-related stocks. But right now, I'm watching CASA. If CASA is going to hold this trend line and stay above that 580 resistance as new support, and we start to see this thing getting back above that VWAP and that 90 EMA, I'm looking to scalp this back up to that 608 level. But again, that VWAP is that level. We got to start to really see some good volume and good price action as we're trying to break VWAP before we make an entry. I think this is going to be the decision-making candle here. Depending on how this candle closes, I think this could be that decision-making candle on what happens. So that's our first candle to close below that trend line. I know we're on a 1-minute time frame, but still, that's the first 1-minute candle to actually fall below this trend line. So just be mindful of that, but you still have really good support forming right at this 580. VWAP is key, guys. VWAP is key to get back above before we even consider a long position. So INDO has resistance off Thursday's spiking high, right around 2750. There on INDO, right around that 2750 mark. So we had a couple decent trades. We had a quick pullback bounce on MDVL for a quick little 10 to 15 cents. Nice little break off the red degree move with NILE. Nice little pullback, nice retest, nice little push on up. Great risk reward on NILE, and right now it's still looking pretty decent as long as we hold this trend line. We do have room to that 75-cent level. And now we got CASA bouncing off this 580. We do have room to 608. Right, so we got a couple quick wins, right? That's my goal for you guys on YouTube, is to get some quick wins, right? We got some quick wins out of the gate within the first 20 minutes, right? We had NILE, we had some MDVL. Right now, maybe you guys are looking at CASA. Maybe you guys pulled the trigger there on CASA. You guys would have just locked up 30, 40 cents a share. And you got to lock it up quick, because look at these upper shadows, right? Look at those upper shadows. Why did we have a 608 target? Because that's resistance. So what do we do at resistance? We lock in profits. So if you guys were jumping in at 580, 585, 590, and it started ripping up 20, 25 cents, you would have been locking in profit, locking in profit, locking in profit. So again, another decent little trade here on CASA. Right now, we have room to fall back down towards around 553. But again, I feel accomplished. We got a nice quick win on NILE, and it's still setting up here, guys, off the trend line, breaking 72 cents. You have room to 75 cents. MDVL, nice break and retest. Right now, support, $3. Top resistance, $3.34. We ever start breaking $3.34, we could see it up to $4. So those are our top stocks. MDVL, right now NILE above 70 cents, above the 9 EMA, and bouncing off this trend line, that would confirm your entry for the next leg up into that 75-cent level of resistance. If you guys are still holding this and you're long, where would you put stops? right underneath the trend line. I would put stops at like 69 cents right now at this point in time. Maybe go 68 if you can risk 68. But I would say right underneath this low, right underneath this trend line, if you guys are holding this as a runner, that's where I'd be walking away from this trade, okay? So you guys got some quick wins on YouTube. Good job and good work if you locked in some quick profits. If not, at least you know what stocks we're looking at, what we have going on. And I'm sure you learned a little something today as well, guys, all right? So enjoy your Money Monday, traders on YouTube. And guess what? I'll see you back here at 9 o'clock, or I'll see you guys inside a chat, maybe later on the day. Good job, good work. Trade smart, trade safe. And like I said, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., as we do it all over again. Hey, that rhymed. It rhymed. What was the buy signal on CASA? Like we were saying, as long as we hold that 580 resistance from pre-market, which we were very nicely, right? As long as we hold this trend line, right? Traders are still looking at CASA. They're looking to be buyers at 580. They're looking to be buyers off the trend line. And then you have VWAP traders that buy breaks of VWAP. So that was a buy signal for a lot of traders. Traders were jumping in right at 580 off the trend line. Traders were accumulating a position right off 580. Prior resistance, new support. Traders jumping in once we started to break back above the VWAP. And that's why we saw, boom, big spike. But again, we already knew ahead of time that we need to lock in profits quick on a stock like CASA. Why? Big spike, big upper shadow. Big spike, big upper shadow. Big spike, big upper shadow. It's already said, hey, I like to spike and give it all back. I like to spike and give it all back. I like to spike and give it all back. So ahead of time, we knew if we get into this trade, we need to be locking in profits around 608 because it likes to give a lot back. And that's how we're going to play this. Anytime we have a good opportunity, we are looking to lock in quick profits so we do not get caught up in a big dump. So be smart. Trade it safe, guys. But right now, CASA is still a top stock to watch. So let's go look at the SPY for you guys. So the SPY, look at that. Came up to that 439.54, topping out. Look at that divergence, right? Look at that 1 minute divergence. We have the stock putting in that higher high off resistance, a little bit of that double top formation with the RSI setting in that divergence, losing that momentum. That was a great indication that we could roll on over. And then you have a nice little head and shoulders formation. So you get your quick double top, fake out over high a day, verified divergence on the RSI right at a key level of resistance with that head and shoulders formation. That was a beautiful short. That was a beautiful, beautiful short there on the SPY. You guys were watching it. Nice. Stir. Way to come in, get it, man. Made a quick $100. Controlled, disciplined, emotionless. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you, man. Check this out. Stir watched 80 lessons this week, in the last week. He's like, dude, I already watched all 80 lessons. I'm like, get out of here. That is a new record. I don't think anybody's watched 80 lessons in a week. But he was in here all week and hungry. He watched 80 freaking lessons this last week. That's insane. So good job. Good job, man. It's definitely paying off. Nice little $100 profit, clean, consistent. That's what it's all about, right? Clean and consistent. Emotionless, disciplined, be patient, wait for your setup, cut those losses quick, hold on to your winners a lot longer, keep making it happen. Base hits add up, man. Base hits turn into home runs. $100 here, $100 there, $100 there, boom. You just made $300. What is that in a year? That's almost 6 figures. Base hits are less stressful and base hits had up to home runs. So good job. Keep up the awesome work. So again, CASA is one of our top stocks to keep on watch, but we have to be very mindful that it likes to give a lot back. But right now, we actually see some strength. This is the first time we've actually closed with a very strong bullish candle, right? Increased volume, no large upper shadows, not giving a lot back, consolidating under resistance. So what is that? That's a strong move up, strong bullish candle, first one we've seen today. Holding its gains, not dumping on off, holding its gains, consolidating right under 654 resistance. This could be primed and ready for a break up to 685. So if we start breaking high a day, look for that quick spike to 685. Right now, consolidation low is at 630. NILE was a red to green move break. Pull back to the open, nice rebound, right? We had a first target at 70 cents. Our other target was up towards around 75 cents. But again, we had a first target at high a day. And then what do you do when you lock in profits? Stops go break even, worst case scenario. But I advised bringing your stops up to 69 cents. That would be below the trend line and below this low. So if you're making your entries at 67, 68, taking profit at 70 to 71, 72, stop loss minimum would have been broke even, but you could have had it up at 69 cents. You would have been stopped out on your runner for a profit. Right now, I'm not a fan of it. Right now, it doesn't look all that great. We'll come back to it, but right now, cracking the trend line, dumping on off below the open, below the low a day. This thing's looking weak right now. Looking pretty weak on NILE. Right now, the #1 stock is CASA. Now, if you guys are like, man, it's moving too quick, Josh. It's moving way too quick. It's way too fast. I'm nervous. I'm nervous because what if I get in and it starts to pump on up and I'm not quick enough to take profit and it dumps on me? I'm nervous. I don't like trading these very volatile stocks. What should I be doing? You should be sitting back on your hands, #1. You should be paper trading this, #2. If, again, you're a little uncomfortable doing this on a real account, paper trade it, right? Get comfortable with volatile stocks and sit back and wait for the next best opportunity on a slower and steadier mover, right? Maybe like MDVL, a little bit slower and steadier. You're just being patient, waiting for the stock to set up to give you an opportunity to buy. So right now, that's what you're doing. You're being patient. You're sitting back waiting for MDVL to possibly set up. You're still looking at NILE to see if it rebounds, right? Right now, it doesn't look all that great. Or you're kind of like, you know what? Let me mentally trade CASA, right? Let me paper trade CASA. Let me get used to volatility, get used to low float stocks to see if I can become more comfortable trading stocks that move dollars in seconds. %, missing out on more of a drop, but I don't give a beep. Shutting down to enjoy the day. I cannot thank you enough for all the hard work you put into creating this platform and the information you provide. Until tomorrow, Stir, I love it, man. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Good job and good work. You're doing the right thing, man. You make a quick $100. Why not just shut down, right? If that's your daily goal and you already hit it, freaking leave. Go enjoy life. Go enjoy the freedom aspect of trading. That's what I'm talking about, man. Come in, make your money, shutting down. You're okay with leaving money on the table because guess what? You still locked it up. Congrats, buddy. Congrats. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's there. It's there. My bad, guys. It's a one-man show. Come on now. I'm commentating. I'm trading. I'm trying to help you guys trade, answering questions. I forget some things sometimes, guys. All right, it's down. You guys are good. You know, BRCC is bouncing, Langston, right? Right off that prior spiking high and that lower shadow from the mid candle. So that's a pretty good level, Langston, right around that 2281. So good eye, right? May has found its bottom. I agree. You know, if we can see this really hold on up today, maybe throughout the week, and you're looking maybe like a swing trade or looking for better confirmation for a day trade, more volume to move in, right around that 2281 level is a really good level to keep on watch, Langston. Good eye. Right off that spiking high from the 17th of February, and then the lower shadow from that mid candle breakout. So let's go ahead and take this trend line off here, kind of clean up this chart a little bit on CASA. We do know we still have that 608 level of support, right around 608 here. On CASA, we know we have room to 654, 680, and then 7. It's kind of calming down a little bit, just a little bit slower. There's no real opportunities with INDO yet. You know, you got ENSV ripping. Not really ripping, but moving on up here a little bit. Let's go ahead and do some due diligence here on some of these small cap oil stocks. Throw yourself a nice little trend line here on ENSV. HUSA, there's really not a lot to base a trade off right now. CEI doesn't look bad either. You can do the same thing, throw a nice little trend line here on CEI. And as long as it stays above the trend line, you could play this long to 123. HUSA, kind of choppy. ENSV looks really nice here though, guys. Nice little uptrend on ENSV. Just got really close to that 318 level of resistance. Anything over 318, you do have some decent potential up towards around like that 360 level. And then INDO right now, trying to start to build some of these higher lows and higher highs. But I'm still watching oil off to the side. And if oil starts breaking into a new high a day, I would absolutely be looking at some of these small cap oil stocks to, you know, follow suit. But right now, at this point in time, I think it's best to just focus here on CASA, continue to watch this stock, get to know this stock, how it's moving, the price action, the volume, right? Really get to know the stock. So if you see an opportunity, it helps give you more of an edge on this particular stock. And other than that, you know, XELA, there's no reason to get involved with XELA. You know, OCGN, there's not really a reason to get involved just yet with OCGN. I know it's finding this nice little floor, but I still say be a little bit more patient with OCGN as it's technically still in a downtrend at this point in time. But, you know, I like MDVL because we do have room to 4, but we need to break that 334 level of resistance first. NILE, we're still going to keep it on the back burner at this point in time. And CASA, top stock. I want to get out my scalping fingers today, team. I want to get out my scalping fingers today. Is that a high day rug pull? Let's see. This stock likes to hit high a day and then pull back aggressively. So this could be a great stock for dip buys, right? I mean, this could be an amazing stock to catch dip buys on these nasty rug pulls. So 608 dip buy, I'll take it because 608 is a decent level from the daily chart. And 608 was a pretty strong level of support out of the gate. So CASA, either A, we're scalping it for quick moves in the new highs of day. And if it really takes on off, we're really getting paid. But we're not being greedy. We're locking in quick profits to avoid a rug pull. If you get in and it rips, you're taking a home run trade, but we're not aiming for home runs. We're looking for quick base hits. And if we get these quick high a day false breakouts followed by these nasty rug pulls, we can look for these amazing dip buy opportunities. So CASA is a very volatile stock. You got to play it quick. You got to get in and get out very quickly on a stock like this. Last thing you want to do is jump in, be up hundreds if not thousands, and then boom, within seconds you're back down to 0.